Hello everyone and welcome back to In the Greenhouse, the behind the scenes question and answer series with Seri, where we talk about the different series, yes there's the pun again, that we have going on, just some behind the scenes personal things about myself and about you guys. And I'm very excited because today we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and is actually The Sims 2 and the Sims franchise as a whole and my plans for what we're going to do. So let's come on into the greenhouse and I will share some of the upcoming exciting details with you. Annie Girl, who has been here probably, oh goodness, 5,000 people later, and Annie Girl has probably been here, you know how long you've been here, probably since the literal beginning when I first started publishing my very first videos, which is really amazing and thank you so much. But she asked, what do I plan on doing? Oh no, we have bugs. Go away, bugs. Bad bugs. Oh, get out of here. I don't need you guys in my beautiful blazing gladioli. They're really beautiful plants. I'm really happy that we've got them. If you recall, they are actually one of the extinct seeds that we collected, as well as this one right here, the Mela fan leaf. So we're trying to keep those extinct seeds going. Probably gonna get some crosses going with them. So let's grab some of the fabled grass, actually. That sounds like, no, the fabled fern, even better. And I just pollinated it by accident. There we go. All right, and we can sell that. We've got plenty of fabled fern seeds. Oh, and dragonfly. There we go. So now that we've got the greenhouse a little bit under control and I'm just pruning away some dead fern leaves, I can answer Annie Girl's question about what I am doing with my upcoming Sims 2 series. And our Sims 2 series that is coming up is going to be a Build a City challenge. And for those of you who don't know, a Build a City challenge is kind of a very structured, organized way to try building a Sims 2 neighborhood with a very small set of families, or just one person that you start with, and you just build out from there. It's kind of like a legacy challenge, only you do it on a neighborhood scale. And unfortunately, we did lose our old Ladecia, the Sims 2 neighborhood that I have been nurturing since the beginning of this channel, and is what was the foundation of this channel, actually. And unfortunately, we did lose it. The neighborhood just corrupted. I don't know why. It just happened suddenly, and we lost it. So sad. Let's see. Do we have some of those seeds? I want to make sure we've got a good supply of some of these seeds. I don't think we have any of these guys. Let's get the 4-petal gladioli self-pollinized so that we can get some of those. And there's another dragonfly. But yeah, because I lost my old Sims 2 file, I made the decision to go ahead and start something new. And it took me about a couple months to get over the fact that I lost something I had put almost 2 years of work into. That happens with Sims 2, unfortunately, on occasion. And especially when you have 13 to 17 gigabytes of mods. So I know that that was probably the cause. But we're going to try again. And this time we're going to do the Build a City challenge. I will back up at regular intervals, so hopefully this won't happen again. But yes, so what has been going on with the Build a City rules is that I looked over all of the available Build a City challenges, and yes, this is probably a conversation mostly only hardcore simmers are gonna get. Just ride along, and maybe it'll sound interesting to you guys who aren't into Sims 2. And if not, don't worry, we'll talk more about plants and other things in the next behind the scenes episode. But I looked over all the Build a City challenges, and I really liked a lot of them, and I had a lot of ideas for what I wanted to do. My main goal with the rules that I've started to write are that I want to provide more of a story-based challenge. I want to incorporate my random generators, and I want to really make the neighbors have to rely on each other to build the city. And the Build a City current rules in all the various forms I was reading makes the neighbors have to rely on each other a little bit by unlocking different career tracks with different jobs, but not as much as I really wanted. I really wanted there to be a reason that not only a sim had to have a certain career track, but they had to be at a certain level and maybe sustain that level and not leave that level. So the way I did that, let's take the medical career track as a good example. So you start with a blank neighborhood, and I'm going to start with 5 families, most of them rescued from Ladecia. We're going to use Kenneth as the Eureka heir, and he is going to carry on the Eureka line because that is a legacy I've been playing, and it's only at Generation 3, I know, but it's a legacy I've been playing for almost 8 years now. I don't want to abandon them. But you start with just a few families in a neighborhood, and you build up over time as those families invite people into their house. Maybe they have townies move in, maybe they have kids, and those kids grow up and move out. And when you begin, you have a lot of restrictions because nothing's unlocked yet. That's part of the fun of a Build a City challenge, is that as your Sims reach certain levels and get certain things, they unlock different levels. And so one of the restrictions when we open up is that there's no medicine. There's no medical personnel in the neighborhood until someone gets into the medical career track. And until a clinic is built, like a community lot is built, there are no medical career tracks available. So first you have to have a clinic built, and to build community lots, you can't just go and build them on your own. You have to earn the community lot. And so that's the fun of a Build a City challenge, kind of in a nutshell. More specifically, my restrictions, medical related restrictions at the beginning, are going to be that all woohoo has to be try for baby until the clinic is built and birth control is offered. As soon as it's built, it's just assumed that if your Sims want, they're on birth control. So you can choose just the normal try for baby, and sometimes, or like the normal woohoo, and sometimes that gives you a baby without you really wanting one, but it happens now and then. It's kind of fun. It spices up the stories for sure. And that's kind of the entire arch of what I want with the Build a City challenges that I'm creating. The other thing is that I'm going to play so that each rotation in each household is a week long, and at the beginning of each week there's going to be an illness and injury possibility for each member of the household. So I will roll a random generator to see if someone gets an illness or injury, and the chance will be higher until the clinic is built, lower after the clinic is built, and even lower after the hospital and doctors show up. But it'll probably always be there unless like a Sim can unlock a like super healthy trait or something. And yes, I do plan on there being unlockable traits and different challenges that Sims can take on depending on their traits. I will be using the trait system from Sims 3 that I built, and I will be using the random lifetime want generator that I'm going to overhaul, and I'm going to be using a randomizer that I also run at the beginning of every week that gives the Sim their random events for the week. So each Sim will have random events rolled that are very, very generalized, and it'll be like, okay, here's your Sim's internal factor, which is going to be stuff like their personality, their traits, their aspiration, their wants. Here's their external factor, like their career, their relationships, their wealth, their businesses. And here's if it's good, bad, or neutral. And so the randomizer will say, okay, so this week your Sim has something personality related affect their relationships in a bad way. So I might look over my Sim's personality and go, well, this Sim's kind of mean, so this Sim is going to pick fights with everyone for the whole week. So that randomizer, on top of the illness and injury randomizer, will be run at the beginning of every week for each Sim. And it can be really cool stuff too. Say it's like, okay, aspiration affects like aspiration, because aspiration's in both categories, in a good way. So that means that I'll go out of my way to really fulfill as many aspiration wants as that Sim has for that week. And it can go the other way, where it might be aspiration affects aspiration in a bad way, and that means I try to fulfill as many of the fears as possible. So it's really general when you look at the randomizer, but that's because I want to leave the strength of the story in the hands of the player, because the player knows how they want to play, the player knows their flavor, the player knows the characters best, and so I trust the player to be able to push their Sims and themselves as hard as they want to. Did I sell all plants? Nope. Come on guys, there's still plants to be sold. So there's a lot of stuff. I stayed up for 28 hours writing the Build a City challenge list that I have. I went through every available Build a City list rule that I could find and picked through it and took out everything I liked and threw out what I didn't like and built something completely different. For example, let's see. Oh man, I mean, there's just so much stuff. Where do I even begin? Oh my gosh. Just scrolling to try to find something interesting. Okay, for example, in the crime and justice is probably something that I put the most time and the most effort into. Now, let's see, law enforcement. Law enforcement, available from the start as long as the accompanying community law of some type is in place. So that means like a police officer hall, or the town hall, which you have to unlock being able to build, may also double as the law enforcement building. Detective level, what I did is I went through every career track and I broke down a ton of the different job levels. So your sim may hit a job level and you have to give them the special Jobinator Stopper. By Saijon mods. You have to put that in their inventory and it prevents them from ever being promoted even through chance cards, and you have to leave that there until you unlock the next tier of the job, which is going to be really fun. But like detective level is unlocked after a sim either opens a detective agency community lot, which they must run as a business, or a downtown and a police station have both been unlocked and built. And then Captain Hero is unlocked following one of the following scenarios. A criminal mastermind lives in the town, or there are at least 10 criminals in the population, or the sim in question gains supernatural powers through becoming a witch, werewolf, plant sim, vampire, brought back to life from the dead, getting abducted by aliens, or wishing for the power to cheat death from a genie. And so if you're Captain Hero, like if someone gets, turned into a plant sim, then they are supernatural and they have access to being a superhero, so they can be Captain Hero. And the crime and justice system is pretty complicated because I made it so that any sim who's a criminal has to roll every week for a random chance of getting caught by the police. And the strength of that chance decreases the higher up you are, and criminal masterminds can never be caught by the police, but they have a very high probability every time they go into work of being caught by Captain Hero. And if Captain Hero catches a criminal mastermind, let's see, let me read it out so I get it just right. There we go. Criminal masterminds only roll the chance of being caught if there is a Captain Hero in town. If there's no Captain Hero in town, they have free reign. Being a criminal mastermind pays very well, but it is an extremely risky job. Once there is a Captain Hero in town, the chance of being caught when you go to work is 1 in 10, so I have to roll that every time they go into work. If caught by Captain Hero, the criminal mastermind and Captain Hero engage in a fight. The outcome of the fight can be determined however the player wishes, either by a physical fight between two sims while in full costume, or through a random number generator or other determining factor. The fight is considered a major event and will affect the town in some way. So if you do have a fight between Captain Hero and the criminal mastermind, you have to have it affect the town in some sort of way. Maybe a community lot got trashed. Maybe a building got shut down for a while because they fought there. Maybe a new lot was established, like as the ruins of their battleground. Something had to happen. You can come up with really creative ways. Maybe if criminal mastermind was dumping pollutants into the water, all sims for the next rotation have to only use the sink or something. Or maybe they broke in their fight, they broke the power generators for the town, and so no electronics can be used for a week. That would be what is considered a major event, because being a criminal mastermind and being Captain Hero and fighting has a major effect on the town. And that's kind of a little sampling of how I want what the Sims do in their life to affect their neighbors, even if it's indirectly like that. After being caught 3 times, after the criminal mastermind is caught 3 times, then the final battle will take place between the criminal mastermind and Captain Hero upon the 3rd capture. The outcome of the final battle will determine if the criminal mastermind or Captain Hero wins. Whoever wins will be the ultimate victor, and the loser must face severe consequences. If Captain Hero wins, the criminal mastermind will go to jail for life or be killed. If the criminal mastermind wins, then Captain Hero will either be stripped of their job in shame and undergo severe life changes in personality traits and skills, or be killed. And I thought that was pretty reasonable, because in real life, there's no superheroes. But in superhero life, sometimes the superheroes die when they run into the big baddies. I mean, you know, Joker wasn't very polite to some of the Robins and stuff like that. Sometimes stuff happens. And yes, superheroes can have teams. I haven't decided yet if they'll be allowed to team tag the criminal mastermind. That seems a little unbalanced, so there might be a small chance of it, like both criminal, like, you know, stuff like that happens. So it's really, that's just like what I've done in the crime track, and I've also done lots of stuff to overhaul. Man, no one's gonna buy that at that price, I guess. Fine, I'll lower it back down to a reasonable price, you nuts. Alright, there we go. I'm not taking my expensive plants, honestly. Oh my goodness, but yeah, so basically that is literally just a sliver, a couple paragraphs of this gigantic file I have written. And yeah, it's going to be a lot to keep track of, but anyone who does a Build a City challenge keeps track of a lot of stuff. And I am going to have a Tumblr that's going to be dedicated just to keeping track of these stories, and I am really excited. There's all sorts of things, like, oh, look at this, let's put you over here, and let's put you over here, and then you there, and sell you. There we go. Then we'll sell you. Sorry, I'm a little distracted trying to get the plants all put away. But yeah, I'm going to keep track of everything really thoroughly. I'm very, very, very excited. I'm really looking forward to this. You know, it's not something I've done for a long time. Let's see, let's just sell you because I need more money because I want to buy fancy new seeds when they come available again, and I need money to do that. So there we go. So I'm really excited about the Build a City challenge. The medical career track has been overhauled. Let me see if I can find that really fast. Let's see. That is paranormal, that's natural science, that's artist, that's scientist, medical. There's medical, culinary, business, athletic, paranormal. Yeah, there's tons of stuff for everything, especially the adventure track I really expanded. Where on earth is medical? I know I fleshed that out a lot. Like, there's a ton of stuff in there now. Athletic track really got expanded too. There we go, medicine. Medicine is unlocked to the nurse level once a clinic or other medical building is made available in the community. For a sim to enter the medical career track, they must either have studied physiology or have a university degree. To unlock beyond nurse, a hospital or large clinic must be built, and a sim must have a university degree in science or medical related field. To unlock the medical researcher career track, there must be a library and at least 2 sims in the science career track in town. So that's what I mean. Like, there's an example of a track that's in the medical career track, but it's dependent on the community having the personnel resources. So if you don't have 2 other sims who are scientists, you can't unlock medical researcher because you need to have the library or the laboratory. I'll have to fix that. And you have to have 2 scientists that your sim can collaborate with to be a medical researcher. To unlock the chief of staff, there must be at least 2 nurses and 1 general practitioner. If any sim is promoted or quits their job and leaves those 3 spots, the hospital is considered understaffed and the illness and injury penalty to the neighborhood is resumed. So if you don't have a fully staffed hospital, then of course you can't take care of your neighborhood as well. So that's the penalty for the hospital, is if you don't have a chief of staff and 2 nurses, because you need specifically, or if you don't have a general practitioner, and 2 nurses, you don't have personnel. You can have as many chief of staffs as you want, but that's like, what do they say? That's oh, what is the saying my dad used to say all the time? That's like having all leaders and like no one to actually do the work, you know? So you have to have your nurses and you have to have your general practitioner. And I thought that made a lot of sense because not everyone who's a nurse aspires to go all the way to the top. And if you're all the way at the top, you have to have people working for you under the bottom too. These 3 medical jobs are not required to be active to hold back the penalty until Chief of Staff is unlocked. However, after Chief of Staff is unlocked, and the 3 positions must be filled to avoid the penalty even if Chief of Staff is no longer occupied. So basically that penalty doesn't apply where the illness and injury comes back to the neighborhood and the hospital is considered understaffed until there is a Chief of Staff. Once there's a Chief of Staff, that's when like you have to have the general practitioner and the 2 nurses. And that is kind of how I'm making my rules, so that the neighborhood has to rely on each other to have the personnel to keep a lot of the community buildings going and moving and like doing things. So let's see. And like military is really expanded to politics. Oh, okay. This will probably be like one of the last things I touch on because this is going really long. But politics are available at the start, but only to the city founder. The city founder is required to keep the politic career track until either their death or reaching the mayor position. After they achieve the mayor position, then the founder may retire and hand the job over to someone else if they so desire. So the poor city founder, who's going to be Kenneth Eureka in this case, is locked into that spot because they founded the city. They cannot just like give up that position of being the city founder. They have the responsibility for taking care of the city. Pardon, I have hiccups now. I'm so excited I have hiccups. They have the responsibility of taking care of the city they founded, so they have to keep going until they follow this all the way through. Any position above campaign manager is locked until town hall is built, which means that once that town founder gets to campaign manager status, you have to put that job stopinator item in their inventory to prevent them from being promoted until you build town hall. Town hall is locked until the business district is open. The business district is open after you have 5 community lots. Once the business district is open, the town hall may be built in any location the player desires. So you don't have to build it in the business district. You can build it in residential if you want. There may only be 1 mayor in the town at a time. The mayor may not retire until there is another sim to take their place. So you can't not have a mayor present. There has to be a mayor at some point, like all the time, once you get to mayor, of course. If more than 1 sim is eligible for the position of mayor, then a new mayor will be elected every 3 rotations, or 3 weeks, based on the number of friends that the campaigning sim's household has. So the whole household, not just the individual sim. The mayor, like, because that makes sense, you know, if you've got like really, really popular popularity sims in your household, you're probably going to have a better chance of someone voting for you than if you just had like this reclusive loner who wants to be mayor. The mayor position can also be bought with $200,000. So I added that in because it's kind of a fun twist. So if a sim's really rich, they can buy that position. They can just put in $200,000 and be like, there, bam, now they're the mayor at the next election. If both sims can pay $200,000, then buying the election is raised in increments of $200,000 until one sim can afford the cost more than the other. And I thought that was a fun way to get rid of a bunch of excess money once sim families start getting really rich. Plus it kind of, you know, it's just a fun extra thing. If 2 sims are capable of buying the election at equal prices, then the sim with the higher friend count of the 2 wins, though they both must pay the $200,000 election costs. $50,000 of a purchased election may be donated to the city in form of a community lot or city improvements. So that money doesn't just vanish, like 50,000 of the bribe managed to find its way to the city to like improve the city. If there is an election where 2 or more sims are competing for the spot of mayor, then any sim who is married to an icon, rock star, criminal mastermind, Hall of Famer, or head of SCIA will win the spot unless the election can be bought by the other sim. If both sims can pay the buyout price, then the famous spouse boost will still be in place and reward the election to the sim married to the famous sim. And I thought that made sense because if you're married to someone famous, you're probably going to have more popularity, have more people vote for you. So that's the politics, and it goes on for a little bit with some other fun things. And oh man, yeah, like I said, there's so much. There's so much. I think the last thing that I will share with you guys, let's see, is like the adventure career track. The adventure career track has always bored the heck out of me because it's so random. It doesn't really make sense. I'm not really interested in its career reward, but this time I made it really fun. For example, Like the Relic Liberator has the opportunity of riches or risk every time the sim goes to work. There is a 1 in 8 chance that the sim will bring home a bonus ranging from $199 to $200,000 based on a random generator. And in the same day, there is a 1 in 6 chance that the sim will be injured or lose out on any discovery bonus material, as well as pay the money they would have earned for the day, or take an injury, or lose a body point as determined by a random generator. So the Relic Liberator is kind of like a Tomb Raider. So basically, every time that sim goes to work, they'll be able to roll for perhaps bringing home a bonus from their job, because that's kind of exciting, being a like Tomb Raider. Come on, you can go collect lots of rare stuff. But there's also a higher chance that they're going to get hurt, or they're going to lose the bonus, or they're going to have to call in sick for the next day. So those are the kinds of things that I've gone through every career track, not even the custom ones that I want to add in. And I've tweaked it so that there's stuff going on. And I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty darn excited for how things are going to turn out. By the way, criminal sims can get sent to jail, but they can also pay their bond, their bail bond, and they can get out of jail after lawyers become available in the town when the law career track is opened. So there's all sorts of stuff. Military career sims have a chance of having to go serve abroad, so they have to disappear and go to like an admin lot and be kept at that lot with Ing's prison tokens until their service is up, like in a week or so. So there's a good chance that if they like have a baby, they might miss out on that whole baby's life stage. They might miss out on their teenager transitioning. But I thought that that was just kind of a bit of a salute to the trials and tribulations of being a military officer. And holy moly, this is the longest behind the scenes that we have ever done, and I have not even begun to touch on what I'm doing for the Build a City Challenge. So basically, I've rewritten the game for myself. And I will be sharing the rules once I actually flesh out the rules. This is an imperfect science, it's all rough draft form. But I am very happy with everything that's showing up and happy with how it's turning out. So thank you so much for listening. As an extra bonus, answering some extra Sims related questions. Will I be playing Sims Medieval? Heck yes, I just bought the game. I actually kept forgetting that it even existed because it's not an expansion pack, it's just kind of a little side thing like the Castaway series. I am so wanting to do the Castaway series, I just have to get my hands on a copy of it. So those are both things I plan on Let's Playing. Yes, I will Let's Play Sims 3. I have actually never played it properly in my whole life. I played it for like 2 days back when it was just base game, and I hated it. And then eventually I realized I only hated it because it wasn't Sims 2. And eventually I realized that's because they're different games. And I stopped holding a grudge against it for no reason. And I am willing to play it. So I bought it and all the expansion packs for a really great price on the Steam and Origin sales. And I'm going to jump into it. I'm pretty excited. It's not going to be as organized as this Build a City Challenge for Sims 2 because I'm new to Sims 3, but that's okay because that means I get to experience all the fun and try out new things, and then after I know how the game is played, I will go back and probably do more of a story twist on it. And yes, I will be playing Sims 4. I will probably pre-order the game if I can ever rub it together enough pennies, and then I will pre-order the game and we will have fun. Whew. So I need to take some deep breaths because this has definitely gone on longer than I thought it would, but you get me talking about Sims. There's a reason my channel is called Seri Sims. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. If you stuck through all this, I'm very excited. I will be happy to share all of the developments with Sims. You know, because I've made so many rules for myself and because I just keep adding them and tweaking them, it may be still a little while before we start playing, but I'm ready to hop back in. So hopefully it'll be in the next week or two. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and I hope that you have a wonderful time watching these little guys try to decide if they want to buy this plant. You want to buy this plant because I want to buy rare seeds. Grrr. All right, everyone, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.